So, Dave, what are you doing?
I'm fixing your mistakes.
I know. So, this thing was it was ready for rips, but not.
The harness was just temporarily zip tied.
It's temporarily, so it didn't like.
You even
It
got
didn't.
the airbag sensor.
It didn't like the 120 mile an hour rip, I guess.
I mean, your airbag sensor said I'm gone.
I have to like hold the camera like way up here to get to you. Look at Dave just using the lift to its full extent. So yeah, he is stripping these guys back and basically fixing my my mess up, deleting all the wires that basically got all like that. That's what I did.
Yeah,
I broke it.
Just rubbed all the insulation off of.
Yeah. So they, I mean, I didn't mess anything up because pretty much all that is power. Because really, this is the only. If you guys didn't see that, Dave made that that custom harness. Did you make a good video about that yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's pretty decent.
Yeah. So Dave made a video about how he basically relocated the chassis harness in this thing, so there's not a big ugly fuse box like right there where there typically would be. So this is really like the only wiring harness that comes up front, other than my wires for my fans, which are kind of temporary right now because we're trying to get to the dyno. So yeah, once that is all said and done, I guess we could lower this thing down and give David a rip because he hasn't even got a rip yet.
Yeah, man.
So maybe we'll take David for a rip. But in the meantime, I got this big old mess over here that I haven't really done anything about, just because we've been smashing through down the list of things on the Supra, and I wasn't really expecting it to go to the dyno still quick, I guess. So there's lots of things that still need to be done. But Dave's gonna finish up on this. I'm gonna clean that, and maybe I'll see if I can mount a seat in there, because that might be cool. Guys, we are back here the next day, and yeah, David went ahead, he got this all cleaned up, got some new wire on those guys, and so we shouldn't have any issues, and I think it's a little bit more zip tied up. I'll probably actually go through and put some P-clamps on that, but one of the things that I would like to do now that it's up in the air and that we got some more things to do is actually install the sway bar. So this is a twin turbo sway bar. I'm not sure what an NA one looks like, but that one looks pretty thick. There's some brackets that I went ahead and kind of painted up a little bit last night with some satin black. Made those guys look brand new. So I'm going to go ahead and try to install the front sway bar. The only issue is we might end up running into something right here with my my custom power steering cooler line. So because that thing pretty much mounts right here, and then the sway bar mounts underneath that. So that might be the only issue that we run into with that stuff. The other thing is I do need to pull off the fenders. And there's a couple little spots like down here on the door where I need to buff right there. And so I want to pull off the fenders and then basically give the door an official buff, and before I could actually install the inner fender liners or whatever. But I guess the main thing that we should be getting done tonight is installing this little gauge right here. So if you guys remember the dyno video, we didn't have any gauges set up in the car, and that's basically because we were logging everything on the computer. But driving it around on the street, it's kind of sketchy, like just not knowing what anything is. So this right here is the solution to all my problems. This is a BTI gauge, and so it's a CAN bus to ECU master gauge. They make these for like AM Infinity, Motec, a bunch of the other standalone systems that actually have like a CAN output. And so this thing, it can read up to 25 different gauge parameters, or like sensors and settings and stuff like that you have in the ECU, and you could set up like 12 different screens or 12 different displays on here, so you could actually show like boost, coolant temp, AFR, and all that stuff, and kind of set it up on like 3 gauges per page. RPM, you could do like a little shift light, stuff like that. And then he actually has another gauge that he's coming out with for the ECU Master. He already has it ready for another, for like AM Infinity, and it's a 3.5-inch touchscreen. And basically with that one, you could actually, it has like a sensor output voltage. So similar to what we did with that little 8-position rotary switch, to where it'll actually, like, you could go up and down with the boost levels or change like traction control, things like that. That will be basically digitally controlled right there, which is pretty rad. So sway bar, gauge, and then past that, I'm not 100% sure. News about the sway bar. So you can see my lines, I could make that work, but look at that intake air temp sensor right there. So, and like, that's not the worst thing in the world, but what kind of happens is, as you can see, is it pushes it directly into the AC compressor, the clutch right there. So I guess what's going to have to happen in order for me to make this actually work is, you can see it just moves everything up and down. Is I should have had this intake air temp sensor over here, and then this would have actually worked. So I could probably just plug that and then just move it over a little bit. I'll just have to get a different bung. So I guess for now, unless I could play with something with like spacers and like space this thing down quite a bit, I think that's pretty much what I'm gonna have to do. I don't know. Kind of sucks because I wanted a sway bar on this thing. But honestly, as silly as it sounds, like when you swap JZs into 240s, you have to delete the front sway bars just because of oil pan, unless you get like a Siki relocation one, which I haven't done yet. And so it didn't even like cross my mind when I was like planning on like intercooler piping and all that stuff. So I guess that's kind of my fault. So another thing I figured I'd do while I'm up here is try to figure out these AC lines. So right here is the line that I need to tie into that goes up to the front. And basically the stock one doesn't match up because this is a JDM 2J VVTi, which I believe comes in from like 1999 and 1998 and up, whereas this car is a 95. I don't know, just the lines and everything, they just don't add up right. So I went ahead and I cut off the end of one of them, and then I have this other end, which is actually off of the engine. So basically what I did is this fitting right here kind of had this like flare on the end where it like got bigger. Where's that? Focus on there. Okay, see how it like flares and gets bigger? And then so what I did is I went ahead and I drilled it out right there, and then it just so that this thing right here, this fitting pretty much just slips right in there. So that holds itself. So that should make it a little bit easier for me to weld it. This is aluminum, so I'll fire up the old Everlast, throw it on AC, and we'll buzz this in. So hopefully it doesn't leak, but we should be able to figure out how to get this thing to actually have AC in it, because that'd be really nice. So I figured while I'm here, while it's on the lift, while I'm doing this stuff, I might as well, you know, spend maybe an hour on it, see if I could get that to work. Since the sway bar doesn't work, I want to at least make a little bit of progress in the front, and this is a definitely a good start. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, I could just, I don't know, make a custom line or something, but I figured might as well try. So here is the finished product. Yeah, check that out. Honestly, that's not bad at all. I don't think I burned through. I don't think I got any leaks. Hopefully not any leaks right there. This end fitting right here, I hope I didn't get it too hot. But either way, this hose is pretty crazy anyhow. So yeah, I think that's I mean, that's what I needed, and I guess that's what I got. So I guess the only thing now is to throw it in and maybe do like a vacuum test on it and see what it does, see if it holds vacuum. But yeah, the old Everlast did it again. Basically what I did in order to make sure that I wasn't going to mess it up, where'd it go? So yeah, what I did in order to make sure that I didn't burn through it is I took this spare line right here that actually broke and just ran a couple little beads on that. You could see that's where I first started out, and it was a little hot, and then I kind of played around back here and then played around right there, kind of got the settings on so that way I could go like wide open pedal on this thing and not burn through this. And this is actually some pretty I mean, it's not the thinnest stuff, but it's honestly about the thickness of like some, you know, intercooler piping or something like that. So it's just a lot smaller. And then what I did is I used a lot smaller tungsten right here on the tip, and yeah, seemed to work really well. I didn't feel like it was burning through or doing anything crazy. So yeah, I guess now we get to install. Well, I'm gonna put new O-rings on it, and then you know, blow it out and make sure that's good, and then put it on. Alright, so now it is time to go ahead and install this little gauge right here. So I'm going to go ahead. Basically, it will go right where this clock is. I guess that's 52 millimeters, and I shouldn't have to cut anything. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. Got to pull basically this whole piece off right here, and this stuff, so that way I could gain access to that. Clock came right out with just some 3 screws. BTI gauge goes right in. Little holder, didn't have to cut nothing. Yeah, I'm excited. Alright, so I got the dash and everything all back in here. Let's see, we'll turn this guy off. It's out of the way. It says Supra on there, which is pretty cool. And then yeah, so then we'll do from EMU. So then all you have to do is come over here to serial and data. So we'll just check that out. And you go over there to the bottom corner. And you said send EMU stream over CAN bus. And then all you'll do as soon as you click that, watch. Then it sends it over there. So then I have to make that permanent, and then that should be good. So then we don't have to do anything else over there. And then I think now all we do is just hold this, and then we could get the parameters selected. Okay, so here's the first one. I wish it would like focus on that better. Alright, and then I'm gonna play with setting this thing up, and then I'll let you guys know how it is. Alright, so now I got everything set up, so we'll go ahead and turn the key on. It says Super right there. I think that's rad. Should I close this door? Alright, so check this out. This is the first screen right here. That's boost. Second screen, air fuel. Third screen is air fuel and map. So then right here that shows everything in SAE. So there's a map, air fuel, RPM, oil, intake, air temp, H2O, which is the coolant temp. That's the E, which is ethanol content, TPS. You can see that go up and down, timing, and then fuel. And then you can see another ethanol content screen, intake air temp, H2O, oil temperature, which I don't have that hooked up, coolant temp, 100 degrees, 12 volts, and then gear 1. This is pretty cool. So I went ahead and I put that little switch right here. So watch this. So we have it basically boost by gear because of the ethanol content sensor and this this little knob right here. It's 8-position knob. Basically they both kind of want to share the same table, so in order to get it to work and have basically adjustable boost, basically we just tell this thing that it's in a gear. So a certain voltage is a certain gear. So the 6th position, this is like full boost, like 26 psi on E85 only. And then you go right here, that's 5. I think that's like 20 some psi. Keep going down, and then all the way to 1 is wastegate pressure. So I could adjust my basically boost and power levels by there. I just got to remember that the max I could leave it on pump gas is 5. And if it's on E85, I could go to 6. But that's nice to actually see it right there, so that it's actually on there. That's lambda and then correction. This is everything in, yeah, that's not PSI, that's like symmetrical or whatever. Map PSI, fuel PSI, and then boost again, and that's table 1. So there's basically 12 screens you could set up all differently. And then if you go back, you basically go to menu, and this is how you select them all. It's not one to, but yeah, you basically just scroll through those, and then everything's set up. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start this up. See, my fuel pressure just came right up. That's oil pressure. I'll probably leave it on this one for most of the time. So you got your map pressure as well as air fuel. But yeah, that's definitely a rad little gauge. It's crazy thinking, you know, like how much money you would actually spend like on gauges to do all that stuff. And you know, this thing, you pretty much, it just hooks directly to the CAN stream. The wiring specialties harness down there that's connected to the EMU. Basically, it already had a auxiliary connector on it, that one right there, and basically coming out of that green and orange wire, that's the CAN stream, and then there was already 12 volt sensor ground, everything. So that went really, really easy. I only took a couple minutes to wire that up, and then I tried playing with some more stuff with the AC. So yeah, I guess that's about it for tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys are stoked about my little CAN gauge and the fact that I got my AC stuff hooked up, and the thing that David fixed, the wiring right there. But yeah, you can see that AC line. It's right there. So yeah, we should be good to go. I guess, hold on, my battery's gonna die. One quick shot now that I have the light on in here. Yeah, that thing looks really nice. Look, now you can see it all good. Yeah, that definitely blends in really nice with the interior. Nice that I didn't have to cut any of those trim panels. And then again, I have this thing right here, and that's basically the dial a boost, basically boost by gear, but instead of boost by gear, it's boost by that. I believe when I get the other CAN gauge in there, like the touchscreen one, I should be able to do some other stuff with it, and might be able to get away with not doing that. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, the boost by gear thing works. This thing doesn't really spin and unless it's in second. It spins a little bit in second, which as long as I'm not crazy, I should be able to control that. But yeah, everything turned out really, really nice. I mean, it's coming along. Still got a lot of things to do, but you know, kind of buttoning up. Now I'll be able to button up a little bit more to the interior due to that. But yeah. I just got to load up some tools, and then if you can see, the truck and trailer is just kind of hanging out back there. Today or tomorrow, which is Sunday, the 23rd, is Drift Colorado Round 5. So if you guys are in Denver, Colorado, or in Colorado, be sure to come up to Colorado National Speedway and support your boy Driftin'. They are doing circle drags like later that evening. Yeah, I got to load up some tools and get on the road. Well, go home and then get on the road early in the morning. Have a good one, guys.